I was just filling up my chainsaw with gasoline and I noticed 2 teeth marks. What up everyone? So today we are going to be laying out the home. I just got back from Lowe's, picked up some wooden stakes, some ribbon so we can delineate where all the rooms are, bedrooms, bathroom, and just get a real feel for what the space is going to be. I did this exercise with the bin and it was so helpful. It just gives you context for what the space is actually going to feel like, what the views are going to be. With the home being an Airbnb, I really want to optimize view. I mean, plus who doesn't want a cool view? So the design has changed drastically over the last week. Over the last month, I had a pretty set design for a long, skinny type home. It almost looks like a container. And I've kind of flipped that design upside down because it wasn't really optimizing the living room space, which we'll dive into in a bit when we're actually laying out. So there's still a few more hours of clearing to do before I can start staking out. There's a bunch of underbrush and a few big trees that are still laying in the way. So I'm hoping to knock that out in the first few hours today, and then we'll dive into staking everything out. Also, get a load of this baby. Elon's taken forever to build his Cybertruck, so I brought matters into my own hands, bought the trailer hitch adapter, and threw a trailer hitch on my Model Y. I'll be buying a trailer in the next couple weeks to haul building supplies back and forth from the site, and we will see how this baby holds up. So this build's a little bit tricky because it's on the same property as the Pacific bin, and the bin is rented out pretty much all of July, all of August, and September's filling up now too. And I don't want guests getting annoyed hearing like chainsaws ripping and us framing and everything. So I'm having to cram tons of this work into turnover days. So the guest checks out at 10 and the next guest checks in at 4. So I have that window to crank out like a substantial amount of work, which it works out well because I work for a full-time engineering job and we work 4 10s. So Fridays are typically turnover days from like the weekday stay to the weekend. So it seems to work out perfect. Also, thanks to everyone that sent over naming suggestions for this home. So there's 2 that I'm split between right now. One is Cedar Hollow. I feel like that has like a cozy vibe to it. I want the inside to have a lot of cedar accents. So 1 is Cedar Hollow and 2 is The Cedar. So we named the Pacific bin, the Pacific bin. So it could be kind of cool to have that naming scheme of the Cedar, the Pacific bin. So I'll drop 2 comments down below. You guys thumbs up which one you like more and we'll go with that for the name of the home. So I was just filling up my chainsaw with gasoline when I noticed 2 teeth marks in the side of my gasoline tank. So I left this out here over the last week. And I'm wondering if any of you guys know, like any animal people, know what kind of animal that might be. The teeth seem kind of close. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if I can get this in focus. The teeth mark seem kind of close together. And there's like 2 more on the top. Like it almost tried biting there and then it bit right there. But I don't know, kind of freaky. It also ate all my sunflower seeds, dang it. So if any of you animal people out there know what kind of animal that might be, let me know. All right, let's go wrap up some clearing so we can get to the fun part of laying this thing out. Well, this is gonna be one of the last dead trees that has to come down. I'm gonna try and place it like right there in that framing for you guys. So it's a short walk to the wood pile. Oh, and it's leaning this way, so it might not happen that way. Beauty. And the last step before starting layout is some good old-fashioned fern wrestling. Fern wrestling 101. Bunch it up. I don't know why I'm talking in a redneck accent. Throw it between your legs and just... Oh, there we go. My neighbor just walked up the driveway to see what I was doing. I just had this fern between my legs, just freaking ripping it into one. Come on! So now all of this is pretty much cleared. So now everything's been cleared and all the stumps have been cut down. I'm gonna rake all this to get all the sticks and shrubs and stuff off the forest floor, just so when we're setting stakes, they're not tipping over, and we'll really get a feel for what the space is gonna be. Last minute decision before I go laying stakes down. These 3 trees, these 3, 1, 2, 3 in that little cluster, I think this is actually gonna be right where the deck is. So I'm gonna take these down. Plus, I'm learning my lesson at the bin. The hot tub is right underneath a huge pine, so it's been a total pain in the butt with having to clean needles out of it, and now I'm too scared to drop it right next to the house. Plus, it'll give a really nice view of the forest here. And I'm gonna get a drone shot of it. Oof. Dang, that guy's tangled up in there. We'll see if it actually falls. Oh, nice. Aw, dang, it took down a bunch of moss off that cedar. Beautiful. Oh, wow. That's so much more open. Oh. Guys, this is gonna look sweet. One of the questions I get asked the most is, where did you learn how to do all this kind of stuff? And really what it comes down to is tons of critical thinking. And I have a free and easy way for you guys to get better and to learn how to critically think. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Brilliant. Brilliant is the best way to learn math, data science, and computer science while still being interactive. When I was going through college, one of the biggest things that bugged me was how non-interactive the professors were, which is one thing I absolutely love about Brilliant. Brilliant is fun and interactive with thousands of lessons just over the last couple of weeks, starting to dive into all these lessons. It's been so much fun, and it's not just like the boring, monotonous high school-like interaction. It's actually pretty fun and rewarding, which Brilliant even customizes the content to fit your needs so you can learn at your own pace. Being in the Airbnb world, data analysis is so important. You need to be able to identify market trends and be able to react real time, which is why the Data Analysis Fundamentals course is one of the favorites that I've tried so far. It really helps to teach you on what you need to be looking for, some key identifiers, and how you can apply that to your business. If you guys are interested in joining me and thousands of others on Brilliant, make sure to go to brilliant.org/DevinLaura or click the link in the description down below where you can get a 30-day free trial and up to 20% off an annual subscription. If you guys end up joining Brilliant, make sure to drop some of your favorite courses down below. I'd love to check them out. So designing this tiny home has been really tricky. With the Pacific bin being shipping containers, you really just stack them in a way that looks cool and make the interior work with what you got, like, because you can't move walls around. But with this home, I had full reign over the width and the length of the home, obviously within the 400 square foot constraint. And with tiny homes, you have to utilize every square inch of the home, because 400 square feet is very small, and spaces like hallways where you're only using them as a path of travel, that's technically dead space in my opinion. For the layout of the home, I started from the very beginning. I asked myself, who's gonna be living in this home? And 95% of the home's time, it's gonna be listed on Airbnb as a vacation rental. So it has to be loaded with amenities, it has to have great views, it has to be quiet, tucked away, just like a really cool couples experience. That extra 5% might actually be me living in the home for the first year. I'm not for sure what my living situation is going to be like. I'm paying like $2,000 a month in Redmond for this little micro apartment, which if I can cut out rent and just live in a stunning forest like this, I'd totally be down for that. After staying at a couple tiny homes just throughout Washington, one of my biggest problems with them, the spaces weren't designed to have multi-use spaces. Like I'm staying in a micro apartment in Redmond right now, and my living space is also my sleeping space, is also my kitchen and my work area. So it's just, you never really get that zoning feel, which I think is very nice, especially if someone who's staying at the home is, the wife likes to sleep in and the husband's up early making coffee or working or doing some emails or whatever. I wanted there to be separate zones. So one of my constraints was I wanted to have a closed off bedroom that was fairly well soundproof, so someone can be sleeping in while the other person's out. The next thing I considered for the layout was I broke down where people are consciously gonna be spending most of their time in the home. And where that's gonna be is the living room, watching movies, by the fireplace, dining room, cooking in the kitchen. That's where most of your time is gonna be spent. You're only gonna be in the bedroom when you're sleeping or reading a book before bed or something like that. So I figured I needed to optimize the living space, cooking space, and just general living area as much as possible, which led me to this first design. This first design is a lot skinnier of a layout. It's 11'6" by 35 feet long, so it's almost like a mega shipping container, a little bit shorter, a little bit wider. And it had the bedroom on one side divided by the bathroom, which also would provide a better like sound dampening for if someone's sleeping and someone's in the living room. So I was pretty set on this design I came up with for the last month. But then my mom, who's a designer back in Chicago, was really testing me and like pushing back a little bit on the design. And also my girlfriend Emily was saying like, hey, is there any other layout? So I was sort of toiling over this for a bit, because a few of the things that I don't like about the home is that where you have to put the TV blocks this stunning view. Like pretty much where I'm sitting is where the living room will be. So the view would get blocked by a 65-inch TV. The kitchen having corners make, especially when you have a tiny house kitchen, like countertop space is so valuable. Corners are kind of dead space. Even though there would be countertop there, it just wouldn't really be workable. And it would just be a lot to have to pack all of that in there. One other thing I didn't like about this long skinny design is that your living space feels quite small, just because packing a couch, coffee table, TV stand, dining room table, all of that into this skinny little stretch would feel quite crammed. And with a few tiny homes I've stayed in, when they have larger living areas, like it's more square, it feels a lot more open, especially if there's higher ceilings. So after spending so many hours playing around with different designs, different widths, lengths of the house and everything, I landed on this next design that I'm so excited about. This last week, I came up with this design, and it's 16 feet wide by 27 feet, 8 inches long. So instead of having everything sort of stacked in a row, like bedroom, bathroom, washer, dryer, closet, kitchen, living room, it's closer to a square. It's a little bit deeper of a design. It allows me to put the bedroom and bathroom next to each other, and both of them opening out into the living space. The living space is gonna feel quite large because it's 16 feet by almost 20 feet. So that makes it feel like a great open area. The ceilings are gonna be 12 feet, and it reduces any need for hallways, which, like I was saying, that long skinny design has a hallway, which in my opinion is dead space that could be used otherwise. And there's actually a view of all this from the living room, dining room area. Another thing I love about this design is that the kitchen runs along one entire face of the house, which gets rid of our corners and better utilizes the space. And then from the dining room, you'll have a really cool view of this forest. We'll sort of, like I was mentioning, we'll clear out all the low growth so you can really see out into all the cedars. Wow, it looks so pretty out here right now. As for the bedroom, the amount of conscious time being spent in there being so low, I really wanted to shrink that room down to be as small as it could be. Full-on closet, I can put all my clothes, and there's side access to the bed, which is all you really need because the conscious time in the bedroom is so minimal. And I say conscious time because you are sleeping in there a ton. It means you spend a lot more unconscious time, but you guys get what I'm saying. The bathroom works out pretty cool too because it puts the washer and dryer right on an exterior wall, which means we don't have to worry about ducting the vent out anywhere else. You just have it vent right out the back of the home. You got a nice big long shower that tucks in next to the washer dryer bay, toilet, and then your sink. So that's gonna be the design we're going with. Let's start laying it out here on site. I got my stakes. I got my ribbon. Let's start laying this baby out. All right, so the plans show it's 27 feet, 8 inches wide, so we'll set that one in the back. I got my 300-foot long tape measure. I'll link the stuff down below. I got it on Amazon. So this will be the back of the home right there, and it's all gonna look out this way into the forest. That's the whole perimeter of the home. It's a tiny home, it's tiny for sure, but I think that decision to go from the long skinny to this version is gonna be way better. So I'm gonna go lay out all the interior walls. First person view here. So you walk into the home here, kitchen lining this whole wall. Like I was saying, that beautiful view. We'll get a little window above the sink there. You got your living room, the wall with the TV on it there. All of this will all be windows. Your sliding door will be here. Your deck will line all right there and hopefully have that little in-deck hammock feature. So your couch here, we'll put like a little 2-person dining room table here. And then you walk into the grand master bedroom. So the king bed will be tucked right up in the corner there. Put a little nightstand there, nice closet there. Not too big, but it'll get the job done. And then this will be the entrance to your bathroom. So you'll have the vanity sink, toilet, laundry closet, and then the shower there. Well guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I'm currently working on getting an excavator out here in the next 2 to 3 weeks to get all these stumps out of here, get the driveway set so we can actually start getting cars back here. Then after that, we're gonna go full tilt, start pouring the concrete piers and framing this sucker out. So please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you wanna see how this thing turns out, and don't forget to vote on the name of the structure in the comments down below. Thanks a ton guys, see you in the next one.